never said that. Because she never said that. So
yeah, she said she mentioned national.
Apologize to her.
Yeah, but initially said I mentioned it
even the national apprenticeship program.
What is entirely
the 300 million has not been expended.
Yeah, but
it is only 21 million that was.
That's a different conversation. She's saying that she never mentioned the figures that you.
Absolutely. Which figure did she mention? She said 300 million.
Yes.
She said,
to what program? You were saying that. You said Ejumara. That's what you said.
So I apologize to her.
Tell you to
just be a gentleman and apologize. Two things.
Abusiafo yemo bibia akwaba na yemfambra yem platform we eso. MPP for omu communicator Dr. Alhaji Bomia communicator ye friend Mohammed Awal agina ni so. Na hawa Solomon Owusu Alan Kwadwo Chiremanten the communications director. Any Ivan Kyei Innocent akwara nyansafo eye political activist. Atono boase any one NDC communicator bi ato mo boase adrebo Awal Muhammad ema ewi akire mo force no ma ne pa achew because nsema na oka no na eni nkrata mu ono abetena TV so no de na adwen ekeka nsema yinim ni na inflation rate a drop from 5 to 3 eni akiripo abusiafo anya sankomodidi no nko ha and the other issues like Kotoka renamed to Accra International Airport. Same way, and Ivan Solomon Owusu NDC communicator at Wamboasi is schoolie Awal Muhammad. I was same way on. Let's also document betum black conversation ekoso. Now what to boase. Now I heard this particular interview. A very interesting conversation. When you say baby, Ura Ivan Kyei Innocent war and Solomon Owusu one. Not just a very heated argument. Na Awal Muhammad nankasa so ye ignorant on padisia but opese di biano or ye challenge who and do stuff what you say. But this time around no omitini mita I will make sure say he will learn in a hard way. Yanko 19 said ni bi mesro send me di kan no. Wodna subscribe to this very YouTube channel. Mr. and subscription no for Mr. Wada Uhemia and if you want to subscribe now I like this video. It may go far. Say be a video to my own so bring be ashe. Yinti is and be a kobe betwaso.
Name should have been
Accra International
well, I don't have a problem with whichever name they settled on, provided that name has significance, huge significance. Because you see, it's not for nothing that our country continues to hero worship Kwame Nkrumah. We must not take that from the equation. So as a country, what is our strategy? What is our vision? Is it the case that we blow hot and cold in one breath around the world? We make it seem that Kwame Nkrumah is our hero, and indeed he is. If you go to any of the international museums around the world, the only African you could see with full history is Kwame Nkrumah. Now Ghana is marketing the product. I said we must have a strategy with our marketing. In one bet you are marketing Kwame Nkrumah, and the first point of call, if anybody comes to this country, is Kotoka International Airport. Now, if you are going to read about Kotoka, the first news that pops up is that he overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. So, whilst you are celebrating Kwame Nkrumah, in another breath, you are also celebrating the person that overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. So, which is your position? You understand? And whether you like it or not, the mere fact that he overthrew Kwame Nkrumah plays a significant role. They may not be telling you this, but this for me must be the reason why you take the name off. And to my younger brother... So
you also bring in the cool aspect. So the gentleman says, well, it's not necessary.
No, but let me address, it is important. I mean, last year or so, the NPP established what you call the Institute, Ideology Institute, where the
party school.
The party school. The idea was to train them. I think they need to do a lot of reshaping the minds of their followers. Listening to my younger brother here, he seemed not to have any clue about his party. It's very sad. Look, you know why the NPP went to court on the 31st December case?
Tell me.
Either Ghana was using state money, state funds
to celebrate
31st December. Every 31st December, we were using state funds to celebrate it. It took the New Patriotic Party in 1994 to go to court and say that, look, the letter and the spirit of our constitution does not support the idea of a coup in any way. for you to even go to the extent of using state funds to celebrate it. It was a heated, remember, Gary Rawlings was the president then. But the Supreme Court, in a landmark case, 5-4 decision said yes, they agreed with the New Patriotic Party. So the New Patriotic Party's original position is that they don't want to have anything to do with coup makers. In any case, I have listened to some of them, and then the argument they make is that Nkrumah was trying to make Ghana a one-party state. If you read the history, it doesn't support it, because remember, Nkrumah has been winning elections. For you to make Ghana a one-party state means you are afraid of elections. And you want to be one person. When Nkrumah won 51 elections, 154 elections, 157 elections.
Yeah, but he passed the PDA. I mean, there's no data.
But if you see, that is the dishonest nature of Ghanaians. And history, it depends on who is telling the history. They have their biases. If, blessed, you were Nkrumah in those days, remember I'm coming from the UP stock, so I can appreciate both sides. You were the president, and every now and then there was an assassination attempt on your life. And you knew where it was coming from. Would you sit down and not act? Read the
where was it coming from?
If you read Edubuahin Okwe, all these individuals have...
You are going to read Edubuahin Okwe to me? I just told you that I just told you that depending on who is giving you the history, and their biases. You understand?
But you come from there.
You know the hole that has been dug at Rich. I can bet you tomorrow when we are gone, you would have younger generation who are biased towards the NPP come and deceive the minds of the people that Ghana needed cathedral at that time.
What will we lose if the name...
In 2018.
What will we lose if the name remains there?
What we are losing is that we are not presenting the true situation to the people of this country. Ghana does not deserve someone who curtailed our democratic dispensation. We don't need that. That Kotoka came to curtail our democracy, and so we are celebrating him. Those that are saying that because he was shot there, you don't know the number of people who died on that spot that has their name not attached to Kotoka International Airport. So that could not be the reason. The main reason that happened was that they were rewarding him for taking out Kwame Nkrumah. And I don't think this is a picture that you want to create in the minds of the people. Remember those supporters, and I listened to Afenyo. I mean, what sort of class one? Where is class one? What do you call it? Politics. Class one, minority leader. You are saying because the name is from voter region, and so whether or not it befits it, it must be there. I couldn't believe. I think somebody edited the video. That your only reason for supporting the name Kotoka is that the person is from voter region. Hey, you must rethink. What political capital would you make out of it? And maybe before you make any statement to think that you want to crash heads, you must know the political capital you are making out of it. It will not even get to 2 votes. 2. It won't get it to you. You understand?
You mean the NPP won't benefit in?
Yeah, how are they going to benefit? And I just started to that they don't even know their history. When you are gone to court for the 31st December case, to even question why we were using state funds to celebrate a coup. Now you come and sit here. Let me address that I have to address him. You know, it's very important. Maybe Rosemont has come, she will also take a bite. But if she's going to allow it to go, fine. You see, politics, moving from one political party to the other is normal. It is in this country that we are so fixated on one political party. You understand? Maybe I started the NPP before you, and I've said time without number that this NPP is a fake NPP. It's an NPP that does not have any ideology. You understand? So if I sign on to a political party with a certain ideology, and they are not practicing that, I will just not be a principal person to continuously be in that political party. That is the only reason. Other than that, per your logic, if I was so fixated on positions, on money, and so on and so forth, if you move from the NPP, which political party must you go in?
NDC.
Is that not the case? Did I do so?
No, but you followed.
I followed. I went to the Movement for Change, and that I am in the United Party. And he said that because I wanted to be director of communication, for your information, something that I don't believe in is even position on this set.
Okay. You know what? Let's not.
So don't in your widest of imagination think that you can come and sit here and think that everybody reasons like you.
Okay, let's leave that. So there are so many more issues to deal with. Rosemond Obeng is a presidential aide. She's joining us this morning, and thank you for giving that feminine touch to the show. I mean, don't mind these individuals, gentlemen who are.
He's sparkling the place. It's very good.
I know for sure. Okay, so I'll get back to you. Innocent, the point about the costs. I don't know if you've taken a look at the costs. So many numbers. You've even heard from my brother here pointing out how much is going to cost her. $5 million US. That's the concern out there.
Yeah, I think there has been a lot of drama and sensations around this whole Kotoka
rename.
And the figures being bandied around are not actual figures. They are just tentative figures.
But it will cost us. There'll be money.
We can verify that. It's just tentative, and that it makes sense.
When you're saying we can't verify that, okay, I mean, it stands to reason that if you take a look at the facility right now, you have Kotoka International Airport written on it.
Yes.
The letterheads, all the documents has Kotoka International. You have to change all of them.
Yes.
So even if you don't believe in the amount, there'll be cost.
Definitely, there will be a cost, but to put a exact figure on it at this point is tentative. That is what I want to put across. I have been following this whole debate. I think I'm not actually catching the drift in this whole Kotoka renaming.
Yes.
Both sides of the debate I'm not following, but this is my point.
Okay.
I'm one of the people who have for long been advocating for a change of name of that particular facility. That is a point. But the side of the minority and the majority, I disagree totally with both, because the position I hold is quite different. I think that history of a country must be told in a positive light. And if you're going to do so, the Kotoka International Airport is the first point of call when somebody comes into this particular country. And once they see Kotoka, they might want to inquire further to know what the details are.
Yes.
And if they come to the realization that Kotoka was nothing but a bag full of treachery, I'm not anybody who will be happy.
To the CPP.
No, to everybody who believed in Nkrumah's ideology.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
So those who hold the Kwame
Nkrumah has never been for CPP.
He's been for the country.
You understand?
But you know how the UP guys feel about.
Definitely. Everybody has his opinion. So for a
the
whole
UP.
I remember Kwame Nkrumah came out of the UPCC. You see, that's the history they are not telling you.
Yes.
Kwame Nkrumah came out of the UPCC.
They even brought him to this.
They brought Park Grant and Co.
So he's for all of us.
So originally he was a UP person, if you are going to look at it from that angle.
So I'm not sure it's good to use the whole airport.
Solo's a historian.
Yes. So I'm not sure it's good to use the whole airport to advertise a gentleman who was nothing but a bag full of treachery. And I think we need to move beyond that and begin to tell a story that will inspire younger generation. Because I don't know whether you've been following the political discourse in this particular country and the political development. You see, there is one thing we are lacking. That is patriotism and a sense of nationalism. We must begin to do some of these things to inspire young people that if you sacrifice for your nation, it doesn't matter how long, a time will come, you will be remembered. And that is a story that has been told around the world. If you go to the United States of America, most of the airports have been named after Logan, JFK. You see, they try to sell a positive aspect of the story of their history so that people will get to know what these people did, their contribution to the state. So that next time when you're sacrificing for the state, you will not have any reservations. You understand? If you go to Germany today, no typical German want to tell a German story and flip in Adolf Hitler. Why? Because Adolf Hitler and what he stood for is something that no German want to remember. So if you go to Germany, I don't know how many monuments has been named after him.
How about Thomas Sankara? You've heard Thomas Sankara. He's a cool.
The name was changed. Sankara was changed to Akweje.
You see,
you remember we changed it.
Yes, you see,
here in Ghana. Yes, but I'm talking about
the political development in every nation and how you want to how you look at it will determine whether to make a certain
the person a hero or not.
So in the case of this, I have always been advocating that we should name it after Kwame Nkrumah. This Accra International Airport, I don't know where we are driving to. You see, because the international airport is in Accra. It is not in Benin. It is not in Casablanca. So it should be Kwame Nkrumah International Airport in Accra. It's as simple as that. So that we begin to tell a story. That's my point. You understand? But you see, because of the controversy and the sort of people are not ready to avail themselves to that sort of a discussion is the reason why they don't want to open that chapter.
Yeah, but this is what I can guarantee you. If you make it Kwame Nkrumah International Airport, a future, say, NPP or UP government will change it to
you people will not change it.
Once I'm not sure because you see, in as much as the NPP tradition may have their reservation regarding Nkrumah, don't forget that the Nkrumah mausoleum and the Akufo-Addo, there was some touch that was given to it. So
a complete
exactly. So it's not as if the Nkrumah persona is hated across the political divide. There is this kind of acceptance that is among us. There is this unity among how we appreciate Nkrumah. And there is another aspect we must also be looking at. I totally disagree with Afenyo Mark, and I think it's quite unfortunate he slipped in that kind of tribal kind of emotions just to invoke sentiment or whatever. Because you see, if you go to Volta region, I am not sure any Voltarian will chest out and say, hey, I'm for Kotoka.
But he has family there.
It doesn't matter. Adolf Hitler had his family in Austria. You understand that? Nobody will chest out. So trying to flip in that sort of argument for me was very weak. And there is something that he forgot to mention because it was through Kwame Nkrumah's doing that Volta region became part of this country. So if there is anybody that must be celebrated by people in the Volta region, it should be Kwame Nkrumah because he fought. There was much resistance against his effort to add the voting part, the Trans-Togo line. And then
David said he rigged it.
Good. And then the northern region. You understand that?
So they were against it.
They were against it. Not today.
So I'm saying this thing to diffuse. I'm saying this thing to diffuse the tribal kind of argument that has been made. You understand? And I have not heard anybody from Volta region who will start and say, "Hey, we are for Kotoka." That guy is somebody everybody is running away from.
This letter from a member of the NDPC, the commission.
The Volta regional rep.
Well, it shouldn't be a priority now, looking at where we are and some of the things we are focusing on.
No, it should be a priority at any point in time in our history. I think we need to change what we need to change so that we make a move. You understand? Because if we don't do it now, when are we going to do it? You understand? My point is that, you see, if you look at where we are, sense of nationalism and patriotism is on the low side. People come into politics for their stomach and for personal gains. You understand? We must begin to tell a story that will inspire young people. Say, hey, wherever you are, just sacrifice for your country. A time will come, even if you are not remembered today, somebody in the future will remember you. That is the diminishing element in our politics that we must use this occasion. Forget about the cost. Were we not in this country when we used over $97 million to dig a hole in Accra? You understand? So how much will it cost to change the story? To sell a positive story about Ghana when somebody comes into this particular country, they will know Kwame Nkrumah did this and this is the airport that was named after him. People come into this country, they have their itinerary. Sometimes they plan to go to, how do you call it, that place, Cape Coast. They plan to go to Nkrumah Mausoleum and other places. By the time you realize your time is almost up, and the airport alone becomes your first point of call. And I think that will tell the story. So I think I am for it, but I'm urging the majority. They should be bold enough and add Kwame Nkrumah to it. Accra International Airport doesn't solve this thing. If it is just about Accra International Airport, then we should leave it at Kotoka. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Wow. But Nkrumah was not a saint. You know that?
Yes.
So you still support the idea he's saying that, well, let's make it Kwame Nkrumah?
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning to our cherished viewers and my co-panelists and my friends in the studio. And thank you so much for the opportunity. I can see my friend Nelson over there. Yesterday, he was bold enough to tell his own government that they have formed the unemployed teen executives network. Yes.
Oh, who's forming that?
Yes.
He's the president. He's
Jata.
Yes. And he was bold enough to even bring pictures of the time he was campaigning for 133 jobs. Yes. He said they hoodwinked Ghanaians to believe that there will be some 133 jobs, but after 1 year they in turn don't even have it. So they have formed unemployed teen graduates network, and he is the chairperson of them. So kudos to you. You've done well to point to the fact that your government is always telling us dollar has come down, fuel has come down, even though fuel is on average 10.5 across the country, not 9.99. This morning I bought it at 10.5 at a boiled filling station. So that's it. Yes.
Your fuel station.
Yes, I bought it at Zane around Ofanko. That's where I bought it just this morning before I came here. Yes, and again.
Everybody has a Star.
Yes, you see, Star do not have has only one outlet on the Achimota Road, and it's when you're going like this. When you are coming, you do not have. You understand? That is one. Two is that even at Goyle, some are still selling at 10.5.
Let's talk about Koto.
No, just to clear this, they are selling at 10.5. Goyle have 450 outlets across the country. They are doing only 9.99 in 150 outlets. So a lot of the places they don't even enjoy it. Yes.
What did you just say?
Just
that Goyle, the pricing model is different from one station is different.
So that is the research that Edward Bauer is bringing over.
No. I would never agree to this.
It is not you not agreeing with this, but that is the fact.
He brought his own topic.
No, I'm saying that is the fact. The fact is that
give me the two
they are doing
so that we do the comparative.
So when you go from Nkoko,
where is it?
I'm coming from Nkoko to Ejiso. There is no single outlet that is doing 9.99.
Okay, I'll check that.
Yes, they mentioned it. They brought in a release to say that they are doing 150 outlets.
Okay, I'll check that for you. I'll check that for you. Don't worry. So let's talk
on history about Kwame Nkrumah and others. I think, yes, we don't hate Kwame Nkrumah. But you see, it is in Orioles for Solo to really will want to rope in and say that people were attempting the life of Kwame Nkrumah, and that was the reason he had to turn Ghana into one-party state.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, you said there were attempts on his life. So he won elections, but
that had to do with I was talking about the PDA. He brought in the PDA.
The PDA, the Avoidance of Discrimination Act and others.
But the Avoidance of Discrimination Act was a perfect act.
So I'm coming. I'm coming, just to be clear. So because there is this narrative that has always been churned out, that some people within the UP were trying to kill Kwame Nkrumah within that time. But when Kulungungu happened, those who were arrested and some were even convicted, his foreign minister was part of it, his general secretary, H.H. Crab, foreign minister, Akweje, and you have Tawia Adamafio, the information minister. They were plotting to kill Kwame Nkrumah because he became unpopular within that time.
That's your...
Around 64. It's not my... This is the history. This is the history of Ghana. I read political science and history.
I read. That's why I'm asking for your sources.
The sources are abound. You can find these in almost all historical events.
Which source?
I'm saying that if you like, go online right now and check those who were convicted because of the attempt on the life of Kwame Nkrumah. Tell where Adam Afio was part of it. Even when one of them was even exonerated by the court, Kwame Nkrumah had to really
arrest the individual.
Dismiss him from office. You get it. So these are the historical facts. So nothing more, nothing less. Again, on the renaming, interesting. I side with Ivan because
that is interesting.
Yeah, you see, I am looking
for the first time. I'm
looking at my 9-year-old who is very inquisitive. Will come and see Kotoka International Airport. He will ask me. Why Kotoka. I will have to tell him that this is someone who overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, and he died at a spot.
They will sack him from
you understand, and it happens like this, and he died there eventually, and the place was named after him. So I am for the change.
Is this a party position? Or?
No, it's not a party position. Okay. Even within the party, this one has really nothing to do with government and party, because you have a lot of people who are saying that they are for. Some are saying
because I've heard some NPP,
you understand, even before he did that, when they wrote it, I wrote on my on Facebook that I am for that change of name.
So should it be Kwame Nkrumah or Accra International?
So even if it is Kofi Annan, if it is Kwame Nkrumah, if it is Accra, if it is Accra, you're looking at destination marketing. If it is Kwame Nkrumah, these are individuals that you want to market, and these are global icons, not necessarily people within this country. Kwame Nkrumah was voted African of the Millennium, and Kofi Annan too, because of where he really served. So if they are really renamed after them, I don't have any problem.
Kofi Annan will be fine with you.
Kotoka can still be renamed after something because of those who were saying that he died because he was chief of defense staff and was also going there to foil another coup d'etat. You understand? So if really we are minded and we think that we still want to remember Kotoka, since it's from the Volta region, we can rename him after the whole airport.
Whole airport?
Yes, we can rename him after the airport. The reason I'm saying this is that the letter...
you don't want him in Accra, but you want him to...
No, you see, the thing is that this is the gateway to the country. And I'm saying that if we are saying Accra International Airport, you are really doing some destination marketing. You are telling the people that the moment they see Accra, okay, that is Ghana, that's the capital city of Ghana and so on. So that is fine. But if really it is the name, individual, Kotoka, that we still want to remember, especially those who are propounding the theory that we think Kotoka...
Don't you feel that would be more insulting to the people of the Volta region?
It is
that you say, well, he's not okay if we put him on the...
it is not because of the letter by Professor Elekule Apetogbo. Because Professor Elekule Apetogbo yes, wrote it, and in the end of the letter, he said Voltarians across the world. He said Volta House of Chiefs and MPs, Volta MPs caucus in Parliament should stand up and resist against the name change. Oh, yes, it is in the letter. So that's the problem. And this is someone who is representing Volta region on National Development Planning Committee.
It doesn't mean
Commission. But you understand? So it doesn't make sense if really they think that because he's a Voltarian and they think that all Voltarians should rise up against it. I think it is fitting that if Ghanaians, majority of us are saying that we still want the name change, whether it is an individual's name who will be there or it is Accra name, Accra which will be there, if really they are minded, they can still propose and send him to the whole airport because he
hasn't come from who?
No, I'm saying that he's from the Volta region.
Okay, so
and the person representing Volta on National Development Planning Commission has written a letter and is calling on Voltarians across the world to resist the attempt to change the name.
He's unique alone.
You understand?
Okay.
But the same argument...
I'm coming. Let me just let me finish. So that is why I'm saying that if really they are minded, they can still name Who Airport after him. Now, the reasons don't really gel, especially the reasons the majority leader brought that, well, it's Accra people who gave the land, and because Accra people gave the land, it is good we honor them and so on. Then this should tell you that no one will be honored anywhere across the country because look at Babanyara Sports Stadium. He's a Zongo man. But Ashanti region, when his name was proposed, there was no really resistance from the Maisha. And the place is still called Babanyara Sports Stadium. Even though there was a resistance from Ohenijan here, and it was changed because Accra Sports Stadium was named after Ohenijan, but it was changed. So if you bring in the tribal thing, the place that you say Greater Accra, that's where I disagree with him. If you're saying that let's change it to its original name because it was already Accra International Airport, we're changing it to the original name. But the moment you start to say that, well, because the person is not from here, because if Kotoka was to be Igan, it means they will have really accepted to leave it like that. So that's why I'm saying that this one I am for. But the cost too is very important. Because you see, if you're looking at a country today where there are 4 strikes because of allowances that hadn't been paid, and the priority of this government is to rename Kotoka International Airport, to spend millions of dollars in the renaming, it doesn't really make sense.
Let me bring in Rosemond, because you are closer to the presidency, so you understand what's informing this whole change. Is this a collective government position? Is this something that is coming right from the seat of government, or it's just a few people within government who want to push this agenda?
All right. Good morning to your viewers, and good morning to our audience. I'm quite saddened by the fact that there's a 10 gentleman, I think I heard something like that. And I would personally speak to him after the close of the program. But it saddens my heart so much that he could not take advantage of the so many interventions we've done to reduce the unemployment rate. Because if you look at the Jumarua program, last year we supported 10,000 businesses. We intend to do it annually. Yes.
About 10,000. That's
yes, we intend to do
okay, so you keep the figures. We'll come
yes.
to you.
Yes. And also,
very serious.
No, with the national apprenticeship, in fact, you would have to speak to our. When I speak, I don't want any interruption.
This is the first time I'm meeting you on.
Okay.
You're asking whether you know.
No, but that is unfair. That is unfair to her.
Because I can see where this will get to. So if you don't set,
what is the
I'll give you the time.
If you don't set the ground
I'll give you the time.
Allow her to speak.
If we don't set the ground rules,
don't worry. He won't worry you any longer.
We all know Awal.
No. Just Awal is a peacemaker.
It is 3 against 1. But I'm afraid. Yes, 3-1. Yes, 3 opposition people against 1 person.
Are you in government? Are you in government?
I am.
You have come to meet an opposition.
3 governments. Sorry.
All right. So even with the national apprenticeship program, we've pumped 300 million Ghana cedis into that program. You know, so many people have taken advantage of the program, and
we intend. He's on the show. So afterwards,
yes, and we intend to. I would personally also speak to him because we are from the same party, and I would want to encourage him. You understand, to take advantage. Even with the recruitment into our security agencies, there were times nobody heard about recruitment into our agencies. Let's be sincere with ourselves. At what point did you even hear people recruiting people into customs, GRE? But now it was published in the dailies.
No, but in the lead
and you were to apply, and the deadline was about 20 January. That is a transparent
Rosemont, in the lead up to the elections, the NPP actually started a police recruitment exercise.
Started it when?
But they started it when the election was done.
When the election was, you mean when they were pushing people after they lost the election into the various agencies? Is that what you're talking about?
But it's still recruitment. No,
the point is that recruitment should be guided. You understand? It should be guided. It should be fair so that people can take advantage of it, so that a young gentleman can take advantage of it. Right. Because if recruitment is done in secrecy, then what does it intend to achieve the purpose of solving the unemployment situation? Right. But in any case, the MPP, we know them. They recruit, you know, it's all about family and friends. You understand? And there has been no transparency whatsoever as far as recruitment is concerned.
So now let's talk about the airport.
Yes, so that was just to take on that bit. I would still mention Awal's name as he's very insincere, you know, talking about fuel. So are you telling me that you were very happy buying fuel at 23 cedis per litre?
If you do that, Awal will come back. So I want to...
No, he will have to come back, but not when I'm speaking. So he will have to come back. You understand? So it's important that you see, Ghanaians hate it when you disrespect them. That is what I'm expecting him and his people to know by now. Because if you tell me that when you used to go to the pump, you buy petrol at 23 cedis per litre, and now you are buying it now you are saying it's not 9.99, so it's 10. Come on, please.
Okay.
Let's not play. Ghanaians are not that gullible.
So let's talk about
that was just by the way, but it was important to mention that. Yes, even to some of the NPP people, perhaps they wish they would go to the pumps with their membership cards to say that we still want the 23 per litre when the dollar was at 17. Can we make that argument? So you can't make such shallow argument when we have moved from the dark days. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So that was just by the way.
Back to my question on
the Kotoka International Airport. Let me also say this quickly. I think I heard somebody in the audience talk about the fact that the Burkinabe president came for the swearing in.
Yes.
Our president, John Dramani Mahama, is a very democratic. He understands what democracy means. And he is even trying so hard to make sure that the 3 states that broke away from the ECOWAS, now calling themselves the Sahel state, that is Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, he is trying to ensure that he brings them back
to the fold
into the ECOWAS, on the ECOWAS table. So if our president who loves democracy, is doing his possible best to bring his brothers back home and invites them that come to Ghana, see what is happening on 7 January. I have been democratically elected. See what democracy means. And that is a way you could draw them to understand and appreciate how democracy works in Ghana. And somebody is saying that it's a taboo for the Burkina president to have been invited. Then I think we need to do a lot more education, because you cannot bring somebody closer when you keep on condemning them and not allowing them to appreciate what you are enjoying.
That if indeed we say that we're not open to people who stage coup d'etat, then you shouldn't have brought the person in, because once you bring the person in, we can leave Kotoka there too, because he's also a coup leader.
Well, let me retrace this point. Like I said, he was brought to come and appreciate
democracy.
And there are so many talks behind the scenes. Our president is working tirelessly to make sure that the Sahel states come back home. You understand?
Yeah.
And there are so many ways to achieve that target. And so that is just what he was doing.
That's why I'm asking the initial question.
And so
whether or not, you see, that's why I'm asking.
Yes, so
is this a whole government approach, or this is just some ideological belief of either the majority leader or some persons in government who say, well, we don't like the name Kotoka, so just take it out and let's replace it with that.
The whole thing about this Kotoka International Airport is that the name change was a call from Ghanaians. The conversation had always been there. People were always calling for the need to change that name. And we just heard that cry. We are responding to that call. We are responding and telling Ghanaians that we've heard, especially not necessarily everybody is going to be in agreement with the name change, but majority of Ghanaians are calling for the name change.
Have you seen the call?
And they are calling for the name change based on reasons they've all attested to, that the history of Kotoka is a very checkered one. And so we are rewriting history. And so if we are rewriting history to make sure that we do things right, I don't think we should be talking about cost.
But was Kotoka all bad?
Democracy...
was it that bad?
Let me say, democracy is very expensive. And if you are trying to undo a wrong, you don't even talk about cost. I am not saying that there's not going to be any cost associated with this. Of course, there will be administrative costs, changing of names and all that, but can it be compared to the price we want to pay to uphold democracy? That is the question we should ask ourselves. For me as a person, I feel that if Kotoka threw away a legitimate government of the Nkrumah, administration, then personally for me, I don't think I should be talking, or I would not be so fixated on the cost, because I understand and believe that we are trying to preserve our rich history and trying to unwrite or undo the wrong.
It's the best way to go.
It's the best way to go. That is what I sincerely believe.
What will government do about the concern from the regional rep of the NDP?
Yes, I'll come to the I will come to the regional rep. But you see, they mentioned Afenyo Marken in their submission, and I was also very disappointed, because how can you tell me that Kotoka International Airport, Accra, is the same as Accra International Airport? The grammar, those who appreciate grammar, is it the same? You understand? So this is how the NPP always tries to belittle, serious conversations, because it's entirely different. In any case, we are not saying renaming. From what our transport minister has said, we are just trying to bring the name back to what it used to be before, which is Accra International Airport. Is that not the case?
Yes.
That is just the case. the conversation could be advanced when people who are the Nkrumahs, the CPP people, or other well-meaning Ghanaians are saying that, well, he overthrew Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah even ensured that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah even ensured that we restructured the airport, which used to be the British Air Force base, to making sure that it could now take care of about 500,000 people annually. As far as an airport is concerned, then why not name it after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? That could be an argument that could also be advanced. So it is not bad in its entirety. But for me as a person or as a government, what we are saying is that let it go back, let it revert to Accra International Airport. In any case, when you go to some states, some countries, for example, if you go to Egypt, you could see the Cairo airport. They identify it with their city. Cairo is their capital. If you go to Morocco, you could see Rabat airport. Rabat is their capital. If you go to Ethiopia, you could see Addis Ababa airport. They identify with the capital, the name, the location, the prime area or the prime, location in that particular country. So it is not bad if it's reverted to its original. In any case, this is not even a name that is being proposed. It's not a new name. The name is being reverted back to Accra International Airport because that was the name before the change of name. And the change of name was even changed by the National Liberation Movement or Council. And this is the same group of people. So I would say that, I would advance this and say that Kotoka and his group of people who outthrew the government decided to, it's like organizing an award show and rewarding yourself with an award. That is what they practically did. Because if you look at the history, it was not there was no consensus building, there was nothing. The LN, the National Liberation Movement or Council just said, oh, he's our hero. Of course he's our hero because they bought a lot into the overthrowing, legitimate government. So they decided to just award themselves with that name. And so if that name, like I already indicated, it's a wrong. Because of even where it's coming from, they sat themselves just like a group of people where we decide in consensus that, oh, this is our leader, we like what he's doing, in quote, misbehaving. So let's give him, let's give that name to him. And we have now, after so many years, realized that no, a wrong was done.
So we have
and there's a need to correct it, and we have decided to revert the name back to Accra International Airport. I personally don't see anything wrong with it.
But she didn't speak about the Volta regional person. Because she condemned Afenyo.
I think,
but
you know what?
The man who even scripted something, wrote something, and published it.
You know,
she didn't condemn.
Are you the moderator?
You know, I think
you ask her. The question you ask her is
I think we've. But they are in the same. I think we've spent too much time on this. Let's deal with the matters relating to the economy, because that also concerns and affects each and every one of us. Yeah. Let's do that. So 3.8%. I'll come to you in the audience. 3.8%. That's the rate of inflation. I have heard some members of parliament say that, look, the figure we are mentioning, it's not really impacting people on the market. You've heard some of those points as well.
I've heard it. I've heard also a lot of.
In fact, a while here, it's suggesting to us that even the fuel.
Yes, but there could be that disconnect. I mean, we must face it, because you see, Ghana is a consumer market. The person is selling his or her product. He or she is not under any obligation to reduce it. It is for the buyer who is going to buy to, as it were, sample the very market and look at who is selling the same quality at a lower price. That is the first point. Secondly, it must be stated clearly that inflation does not mean reduction of prices. In fact, if there was zero inflation, what it technically means is that the last price that you met will remain same consistently, because inflation is the rate at which prices increases at all material time. Where there is deflation, that is where you would expect prices to be reducing. But we have been saved by the fact that there has been stability in the currency. In fact, the cedi to the dollar has reduced somewhat. And that is what has reflected in some prices of goods and services being reduced. Other than that, the prices at which we left in 2024 should be the same or some marginal increases. And so those that are saying that they are not seeing the impact, they are right that it is not causing huge reductions in prices of goods and services. But that must tell them that if the trend had continued, their lives would have been worse off. We went to inflation.
Which trend are you referring to?
Oh, when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia took us to 54%, well, you know, in this
Why not naming President Akufo-Addo administration?
Akufo-Addo said he brought Mahmoud Bawumia because he was the economist. He was a wizard. We have been told by the wife that the husband is a wizard, economic wizard. In fact, Napo has come to tell us that he was the wisest person and still the wisest person in the new patriotic party.
No.
Is that not what he said?
No, he said cabinet.
But cabinet is the creme de la creme of the party.
Yeah,
cabinet is the creme de la creme.
NPP. I mean, you know the NPP is bigger than cabinet.
Cabinet is the creme de la creme. Napo is telling that he was the wisest person in cabinet, and the wisest person took us to 54%. But what I'm saying is that it is a good thing. The last time I came here, I told you that in Tehran, in Iran, the confusion there has to do with inflation. Inflation at 40%. They are fighting their government. They are causing the government. They want to overthrow the government because inflation is at 40%. Remember what happened in Sri Lanka when inflation got to 52%? They overthrew the government. So we had 54%, but I don't know, Ghanaians have a special way of dealing with what is. We held on to it, we entertained it, and then we moved on. So anybody that discounts inflation in matters may not know what he or she is doing. The other bit is that I have heard a number of people question the basket. But I checked the basket. The basket in using to calculate inflation has been so since 2015, ever since we did the rebasing. So on that score, nobody. But you see, it's the reason why some of us left the NPP. You have a lot of dishonest people in there that when they know the truth, they decide to do otherwise. In 2013, 2014, you remember Kwaku Kwati led a press conference and even questioned those days, Madam Bediako, that she was getting the calculation of inflation rates wrong. That is how we bastardize institutions. We must not sit down for anybody to bastardize our institutions. In any case, you can measure the performance of any government based on some of these indices. Are those that are saying that it is not translating into the pockets or reality, saying that we must from henceforth discount inflation figures, exchange rate figures, GDP, international reserve, and so on and so on, so that they tell us how we must measure the government of the day. Beyond the stability of the economy and achieving this 3.8%, the next thing all of us must be clamoring for is how we work more to translate it into each and every home. You see, one of the reasons why people normally do not feel some of this impact has to do with unemployment. The person is already not working. You understand? So whether or not prices go up or down, he doesn't even have money to go and buy anything. So to such person, when you are telling the person, oh, inflation is 3.8, he or she cannot appreciate because already he doesn't have the money. But if the person was working and receiving salaries every month and knows that the rate at which goods and services or prices were going up has stabilized, and so the very money, mind you, when inflation is going up too, government comes in to increase their minimum wage. So if your minimum wage was increased based on a prevailing interest rate, inflation rate, and that inflation rate has dropped, it means it gives you money, it gives you higher purchasing power, and then you can appreciate it the more. But you can never discount it. We must now then move into the real sectors of the economy, and by real sectors, improve on production. Because if we don't produce a lot of this, and once again, let's also educate people that there are two types of goods that we have in this country. We have imported goods and we have locally produced goods. You hear people say that there has been egg glut, rice glut here and there, but they are not even buying their wares. Now farmers in the northern region and across the country are crying that they have a lot of rice in stock, but people are not buying. They are not buying because they are facing stiffer competition from importers. Now, their prices may seem cheaper, but I can tell you, if you compare it to imported products, the imported product seems cheaper than the locally produced goods. And it is the reason why, from the United Party's perspective, we believe that there has to be a correlationship between inflation, exchange rate, and interest rate. You understand? Because if your inflation is down and it is not pushing the interest rate down, you will not achieve the very purpose. So I was very happy to see the Bank of Ghana reduce the policy rate to 15.5%. Even that one, we believe that is still high. Yeah. Because you are comparing Ghana to your neighboring countries. Ivory Coast is doing 5.25%, Togo is doing 5.25%, Burkina is doing 5.25%. What it means is that if you added the risk profile, you know, when you go to bank to go and borrow, they add something they call risk profile. That looking at you, maybe you are old, you have to add 3. The person producing in Cote d'Ivoire is likely to end up with the production of the very same thing you are producing in Ghana at a lower cost. We all behave rationally. And so when you go to the market and then compare 2 goods and one is cheaper than the other, you are likely to settle on the cheaper one. So we need to do more with our interest rate so that we can achieve the impact of inflation that we all seek.
Well, you were the one complaining about prices of fuel this morning. I wasn't too sure if it was a complaint or you were just trying to raise some issues with the pricing. But we've heard some MPs also say, look, it's just figures. It doesn't really matter.
Thank you so much. But before that, I will have to set some records straight. It is not true. It's about economy. It is not true that the NDC has spent 300 million in Ejuma Ura. That is a palpable lie. That is one. 2 is that the NDC...
And what's your counter?
I'm coming. The NDC did not even allocate 300 million for Ejuma Ura. Ejuma Ura had an allocation of 100 million in the 2025 budget. Again, Ejuma Ura was launched by the president in Kumasi. As of July, when the finance minister read the mid-year budget, the amount of money that has been advanced to Ejuma Ura was 34.5 million Ghana cedi. As I speak right now, those who applied for the Ejuma Ura project, those who applied, it is now that they had closed the portal for them to train them. Ejuma Ura is not really picking people and giving them money. This is something we started at NEIP. NEIP, when they apply they open the portal, you apply. They close the portal. They go through training and selection. It takes not less than 6 months to do this. We did that, and you have success story in it. There is this young man.
So you're saying it's not possible that by now...
It is not true that 10,000 people have been really employed, 10,000 entrepreneurs had been supported. It's not true.
Okay, well, she has no, if you can clarify.
Yeah, let's clarify. Let's clarify.
But I want you should have listened to me carefully. Listening is part of the discourse.
Absolutely.
I never said we have allocated 300 million. I said that.
I listened to it.
For the National Apprenticeship Program. Listen.
Let the land, then I'll give you the time.
You always come here.
I said that we've allocated that for the National Apprenticeship Program.
I heard it.
For the Ejuma, we are supporting 10,000 businesses. That's what I said.
You said you have supported 10,000 businses last year.
This
is what you said.
You
made a reference to him that he should have taken it.
We have pushed 300 million.
You have to apologize to the viewers that you have come to throw in your own figures and you think you want to go with the
yes, you are making a figure.
I am saying
for a completely different program.
I am saying that she has said that they have supported 10,000. I'm coming. I'm mentioning 3 things here. She said 10,000 people have been supported. The gentleman should have taken advantage.
Yeah, but you were mentioning an amount of money.
2 is that she mentioned 300 million has been expended.
For National Apprenticeship Program.
That is
for National Apprenticeship. I'm coming. If it's National Apprenticeship, no.
So I apologize to you.
No, I'm coming. For even National Apprenticeship, it's a lie. 300 million was an allocation.
the actual disbursement for National Apprenticeship Program was 21 million Ghana.
When you are doing this,
I'm saying that. I'm giving you
from Google.
Viewers,
my source of information
is Google. It's Google.
I don't speak to Google.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to us. Where are you getting this from?
This is the 2026 budget.
Yes.
And this is the 2025 budget, because as you were talking, I was scrolling through.
Yeah, you're looking at the previous year, the budget for the previous year.
I'm saying that the budget for National Apprenticeship Program is true, it is 300 million.
Yes.
But when you check the appropriation...
What are we doing here?
Why is it?
Because she never said that. Because she never said that. So
she said she mentioned National...
Apologize to her.
Yeah. But you said I mentioned it
even the National Apprenticeship Program,
what is entirely
the 300 million has not been expended.
Yeah, but
it is only 21 million that was...
That's a different conversation. She's saying that she never mentioned the figures that you...
Absolutely.
Which figure did she mention? She said 300 million.
Yes.
She said,
to what program? You were saying that... You said Ejumara. That's what you said.
So apologize to her.
quickly tell you to retract.
Just be a gentleman and apologize.
Two things. One is that she said they had supported...
No, don't move away from that. You apologize to her.
That's a yes.
He's becoming a nuisance to the program.
No, not
Why?
that.
No, that is...
You are lying. Apologize to the two NDC people here. Are you talking about what?
Just say that. She never said that. So just retract that and let's...
Okay, so I'm coming.
No, nobody's coming.
They don't apologize.
No. Just retract.
He's not being a gentleman.
You are disrespecting everybody watching the program. You are telling you to apologize.
Okay, two things.
You are misbehaving.
One is that she's saying that I don't respond to women because I...
No.
So you have to respond. This is a conversation. So
just make progress.
If not NDC, who will put you?
You don't have a battle.
If not NDC, who will put you?
Let's make progress.
If not NDC,
let's make progress.
Communicator.
But she was also a...
She had never been...
You have moved. We've told you to apologize.
Apologize.
This is what we'll do. I think your comments were a bit far-fetched. So
when she said I'm misbehaving.
Of course you're misbehaving. With lies. But I'm not surprised.
Statement and let's
what
make
should
progress.
I withdraw?
I'm not
The fact that she never mentioned those figures, and that's not what she was referring to. So let's make progress.
I'm saying that.
Just retract that.
I'm still saying that she mentioned that the gentleman should have taken advantage of the 10,000.
But you mentioned an amount which
and I'm saying it is not true that they have supported 10,000.
You mentioned an amount which she never mentioned. So just
the amount she mentioned, she said apprenticeship.
Yes. So
I admit that she said apprenticeship. But even with apprenticeship, they didn't spend 300 million. They spent 1 million.
Okay. So now on the rates we have, you are still complaining about the price.
Don't divert.
Let's go straight to that.
Yes. So on inflation. I think, yes, we have seen progress. And I think it is something that we anticipate that indeed in 2025 there will be some progress. Because when we took over in 2017, the inflation was around 15.4. From 2017 up to January 2022, the highest we recorded was just 13.9. That was the highest we recorded because it was on a downward trend from 15.4. And we did 24 months of single digits.
Where?
These are the facts.
When?
Between 2018 April, we started with 9.6 up to March 2020, which was 8.7. When you calculate, it is sustained single-digit inflation for 24 months.
At what rate?
24.
I said it started from 9.6 and ended at 8.7. These are the facts from Bank of Ghana. You can cross-check. So it's true. In 2022,
yes. What happened?
When we entered 2022 with 13.9, by February, when the Russia-Ukraine hit, it came with inflationary figures that even in the US and UK they recorded 40-year high inflation within that period. UK had to even change 3 prime ministers within 1 year in 2022.
It wasn't because of inflation.
And these are facts. You understand? Again, these are inflation. Inflation really went high in that year. So we started.
Why are you choosing UK? Why are you not choosing
Cote d'Ivoire? Cote d'Ivoire, yes. Cote d'Ivoire moved from 2 to 7, which is higher, which is about 300%. Yes.
Still in a
yes. Their inflation used to be 1.5, 2%. They moved to around 7, which is higher.
And you moved to 54 eventually?
Yes, we moved to 54. Then we started tightening the monetary policy because at a point in time when our inflation got to 9.6, we had a policy rate at 13.5. 13.5. Today they are celebrating 15.5. We had 13.5 as at 2021.
So
we started. Yeah, today is 15.5. Yes. So we started tightening the monetary policy so that we'll be able to really control the inflation. So by April 2024, the IMF predicted that 2025 will end in a single digit. That's what the IMF said. So it means if we are to follow through what the government had done to move it from 54 to 23, so if we are following that trend, it means it will get to really 8%. And indeed, this government came and they followed through because it was under the supervision of the IMF to do that. They followed through. Instead of it ending at 8, it ended around 5.4. But when you do the aggregate of the year, the year was 11% inflation because when you do the monthly and you do the average for the year, it was 11. What we're seeing is a progress. But you see, the challenge we have here is that you have 3.4%.
Yes.
I keep on saying that the government is not spending. And that's the reason you really have...
Spending on what exactly?
When you check the budgetary allocation for 2025, on CAPEX, the government didn't do up to 50%. On goods and services, the government did instead of 7 points.
Have you seen the big push?
Big push has not really started expanding. I'm talking about not starting project. Which big push project have they started? Which one? Whenever Accra is something that we started, and they are now renaming it to Big Push. You understand? So you see, which project of the Big Push has started? So I'm saying that if you look at what the government is doing, yes, you see that indeed inflation has come down to 3.8. That is really good for the consumer. You and I, when you go and it's really cheaper, you get you like it.
Okay, well.
They said the main drivers are food. And that is where the danger is. Because today, the problem is that if you go to Tamale, maize that is supposed to be sold at 900 cedis is now 300 and they don't have buyers. If you go to Atebubu, cassava that is sold at 300 cedis, they have reduced it to 100 cedis, they don't have buyers. What it portends is that, what it tells you is that if you're not careful, this year, the farmer will not farm.
Enti uhe dewana Awal Muhammad ACS wati na ode nsa nam ni tiri ho na ono ankasa hu se enkomo ya medidie sebi emwame and I was saying me changing my ways. You see how he was fumbling, struggling to build his points. Struggling to build his points. It tells you, a picture be editorial. A picture be editorial. And a chira hawa sebi nyado, a year MPP for ACT Ukrumha. You see, you can't MPP for asema, people don't understand, and people thought say, oh, the unya osorano pano di and I say osorano pano ni jumadiana betinasina or can MPP for asem. No. It is not about that. Let's get it right. NDC for a betina crew so. Yeah, Yedi abindwe months for the past 1 year. Everything has been promoting Ghana, building Ghana, in fact, reducing the economic hardship. John Mahama Shasi, we say Waba Frontier, and this MPP for now. We say Waba Frontier, your man 2 years, and I am man 1 year, obesity. Abusia, 1 year napa, eko 2 years, yen na mu yeko. But we still can see, say, John Mahama, no, every single thing up we adechi away biano, a promote Ghana, ne Ocean entire dear or she, na fadiemu, ne Niema oya. It tells you, said this gentleman came to rescue this country, of course, and he is doing his job. What you say? Or call Zimbabwe, Mpoka Wasem, every actually, you fuguna trendy worldwide. What you say? And it's what promote the business. Call yenso a business trip. I was for NPP for na tenasia. As she said, near who said debut, said your mum won papa na di corner. And near ma papa na shasi a yen ukrumano. Say, o mom for quati can be so unbreaking. Ebedu baby no. It will be other than what? A year obegu money masi. In fact, obegu money masi papa. And that is what John Dramani Mahama has started doing. He is shaming every single MPP or can say body at the father. Okachen is about Timinye. Okachen said this John Mahama is a Dunso Mahama. This John Mahama is what a economic hardship Mahama. But the name John Dramani Mahama, Kwame Mahama, actually Sampa, he is building Ghana with NDC government, and we can all attest to that fact. And on our watch, one of my own Hundionka, now on in them, no one can send him saying, some making a Busrimka. We need evidence attached to that. But we decided, say, we play and down. While Muhammad decided, say, by all means, either hook or crook will be played and down. He will play the what? The devil's advocacy. And I would dinner on na oil. You see, I like Solomon Owusu to the extent say every point you go reason, he is able to what build the word facts. I like this gentleman. Every day be a co-programmer, he back it with what? Facts. With what? Facts. The same thing applies to Ivan Kyei Innocent. These are the great men that we have in this country. They are neither NDC or NPP, but you can see say they are always hating where they supposed to hate. NPP for the na afanya marking we feel voter region kotoka freeway and baseless analysis. Said na Solomon on baseless grounds and afanya marking a building a point on kotoka rename. What in a mature say? It's a bush for MPP for we no more opposition now. The arrogance they are displaying, it is top notch. And it tells you say the moment we bring these people into power, we are going to what regret, and we are going to feel ashamed of ourselves someday. As Akufo-Addo have shamed a lot of Ghanaians. Akufo-Addo good anymore from 2017 to 2024. What you say? Ghana, but this time around, MPP, NDC government is really to what? To make sure say Ghana a bit move forward. In the sana, I didn't acquire comment section in Midian Meka. Bye bye.